Can I have the iPad? I'm a little delayed. Hello, welcome.
Hi. Those 3 minutes went really fast.
Yes.
They did. But here we are. So we were sharing to our pages. You should share to your page.
Yeah, just click that share button. And like, share, send us hearts.
We're grabbing the iPad so that
we can read your comments.
Yes, so we can read your comments. We want you guys to comment, ask questions. We're going to interact with you live. So make sure that you're commenting there.
Today is going to be a great topic. Many of you chimed in and said that you had some stuff to share. So we would love to hear from you.
Yes. And if you were watching our page this week and you saw Danielle's daughter Olivia's video talking about all the angles.
I live with that on a daily basis.
Yeah, for your profile pictures. First of all, she's going to be a comedian one day. I firmly believe it. She already is.
She's my retirement investment plan.
That's really good. She's watching us from over there.
She is.
Because she knows how awesome she is. But if you saw that, just raise your hand in the comments and be like, Olivia's awesome. And if you didn't see it, go back and watch it.
Her side job, we talked about this. So she had no idea I was recording that. As you can tell, the angle I'm like sitting in my bed, I sometimes will catch a glimpse of her doing stuff. After that, we had a conversation, and I was like, so how do you know? Because she does an online date. She's 11. She goes, that's what I'm going to be when I'm older. I'm going to help people with their profiles.
Oh, wow.
Like a consultant.
She's an online dating consultant.
Oh. Well, I mean, you can hire her today.
Yeah.
Do you want to practice?
She's only 11.
I can help you build your resume.
She's only 11, so I think she'll work for small dollars.
Yeah. I got to manage her out, though, so.
Yeah.
Momager.
Momager. I'm going to be her momager. That works.
That works. So, all right. So, just refresher. We're all pretty new here. We're on show 4.
Yeah. This is show 4.
I'm Amy Houston, one of the co-hosts.
I'm Danielle Valentine.
Yeah. And we'll let our guests introduce themselves. We'll start over here.
I am Sarah Kane.
Tell us about your family.
Okay.
So family dynamic.
And why do you deserve to be here to talk about online dating?
Why am I an expert in the topic?
Yes.
Expert?
Well, we established in the first show we are not experts either.
No.
We just like to talk.
We're not
with
experts at
microphones.
anything. But we have opinions.
So I met my husband on eHarmony. We have been married for 7.5 years. We have 3 kids. Online dating was a lot different.
How many years ago was that?
10.
Okay.
So
9,
wild.
10.
Was did the internet exist?
Stop.
I'm just kidding.
10 years ago.
So
Ouch.
Yeah, that's like a comment my kids would
no
make.
judging or shaming
So-
our guests.
you're right.
You've been married longer than I.
I
so.
have. So I
There
was
you go.
definitely married before the internet.
But so yeah, that's
Just kidding.
that's the family dynamic.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Do you want me to share mine or just share? Good, good. Let's go to you. Hi, who are you?
I'm Shanna. I single mom. Me and my tiny human rocking it out, and I guess I was invited on here because I'm living the dream.
She's
Online
living the
dating.
Living the dream.
So if you're watching and you want her to not have to make profiles anymore,
yeah, we will
We'll
put her
hook you
phone
up.
number in the comments.
Just living the dream.
Please don't send any pictures. We'll be going over that soon.
Deleted.
We don't encourage picture sending. But how long have
unless
you been
it's
in
your face,
Yes,
that's fine.
faces are welcome. This one. Sorry.
Your dad's watching, Danielle.
My dad probably is watching. You know what?
I'm watching
He
to
knows.
ensure
He
mine
knows
is
what. He knows what he gets.
Yeah.
How long have you been online dabbling? Is that the right word? Dating.
Sounds kind of
Dabbling.
Dabbling sounds better because you don't actually date many of them. You're looking for a date. You're online screening. How long have you online screening?
I've been interviewing people online.
Interviewing's good.
For on and off for 8.5 years.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
So can I ask, like, we're gonna go over some of the pages and stuff, but have you like tried them all?
All the things.
All the things.
places.
Okay.
I can't wait to get to that.
That's
So
great.
I have been married almost 11 years. Wow, that sounds a lot larger than 10. So almost 11 years and did not online date. I don't think it was, if it was a thing, it wasn't a thing in Northeast Ohio yet. Like it was definitely kind of before that time. It
You
wasn't.
were also 21 and in college.
I was 21 and in college. I got married at 23 and had my first kid at 25, which felt totally normal to me at the time. And now that sounds really young.
Yeah, now people aren't having kids until like 30. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Which is just cool, but you know
I
what?
don't know about that. Like, I'm really having a hard time with this because where I am in my life, I've had the number one question I get asked is, "Will you meet somebody and start over?" And I'm like, "Have kids at 33? What? What?"
Well, and
But it's a thing. Most people aren't having their kids till like
True.
34 or 35.
but
well,
it's
I just had a baby and I'm 35.
yeah.
Well, I can't.
Yeah.
What? No, I can't
Our
do
producer,
it. Our producer
wants
had
you
a
to
baby at
know
41.
that he's
Not
41.
today, Satan.
Yeah. There you go. Her cup is 40. I don't.
Okay, but Danielle, I think you're in a different situation because it's less about how old you are and it's more about the idea that it literally is starting over. Like if you haven't had kids
Yeah.
yet at 33, that's a completely
Yeah.
different
Exactly.
scenario.
Yeah.
Then like you have Olivia's 11
And Carter's 7.
7. Like that is starting out. Like
Yeah.
that is like jumping back
Yeah.
to like a life you were already living. So it's less about the age and more about just where you're at. Like that
Stage
is-
of life.
I am not there right now. Like, I can't even think. Like, I mean, and like I said, so I'm recently divorced. I actually met my ex-husband on Match.com. It was a dare to even go on it, which is really funny. I lost a bet over the Super Bowl in January, and the deal was my friend said that I needed to start dating. And so I set up a profile. I didn't even listen to all of the, you know what? This is like red flag number 1. I didn't listen to like, you're 97% compatible, you're this, you're that. I think me and him were like 45% compatible. Why did
Well, dang.
Well, dang. But anyways, met him, went on a date, like, got married, you know, I didn't think of, you know, ever starting over. Like, we had wanted a child during that time, but like now I'm like, oh, I don't know if I can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's, I mean, and like you said, recently divorced, so you can figure that out later. It's fine.
Yeah. I think we're on like 2 weeks, guys.
Well, legally is
Yeah.
different, but whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right.
Anyway.
So is this show more for me or?
So fun fact, Sarah and I here have been friends since 8th grade, known each other since 6th grade. The funny story is always that in 6th grade, I got her fired from the school store, so we weren't friends yet.
Not yet.
Not yet, but we became friends in 8th grade. So I know a lot about Sarah, and I can ask loaded questions.
She can't.
And so my first loaded question is, why did you set up an online dating profile?
Well, I guess it was kind of twofold. The responsible answer was that I am in a field that was predominantly comprised of women, and I was in a new city that I didn't really know a lot of people. The true answer
Is that the one that you tell everyone? Because, yeah, like I didn't tell any. I think like this is the first time I publicly admitted I met my husband on.
No, I would tell them that I met John on eHarmony, but that's like my mom and grandma answer. But the real thing is
Mom and grandma don't
Mom
watch.
and grandma don't watch.
We're just
Kimmy
kidding.
and Grandma Vlog.
We love them.
We do. But they
We forgot to remove our sign.
there we go.
It's because it was so good.
Now you can see our faces.
Keeper and Creeper. How did we not notice that was still there?
Okay.
The true answer, though, is New Year's Eve. We had a little rum and coke with me and 3 of my girlfriends at the time. And shout out.
I did
And-
not know that this was part of the story.
Yeah.
It was. And
Her glass says mom juice. It wasn't mom juice then.
No.
It was single lady juice.
Single lady
And-
juice.
we filled out profiles on each other. So on eHarmony, they make you fill out a really long, like, compatibility questionnaire. And so they filled mine out for me. And then
So does that? Never mind.
I filled out my actual, like, profile, but, like,
Oh,
the
okay. I was
question...
going to say, so were they about you, though? or
No,
did you-
no, they were. But, like, the actual questions, like, I don't even really remember what it was all about. It was a while ago. But, yeah, they filled them out for me. And it was a free communication weekend. Shout out to the coupon.
Yeah. She
and
met her husband on a coupon.
I mean,
That's my kind of date.
That's just being smart.
that is. So then I said, you
But
know.
was he on a coupon?
Yeah, was he on a coupon?
I don't. Kind of. So we talked about
To have
this.
John
before.
phone in.
We need to phone him in because I want to know.
He's
if
not
he
on
was
Facebook, so this is hard.
I want to know if he was a coupon.
So this is
We'll have to find out later. We'll fill you in.
he was living in Indianapolis as well, and he worked for the his fraternity, the national headquarters. A lot of them are in Indianapolis, and he was there, and he clearly only worked with fraternity brothers, and he traveled a lot and only went to other fraternities, and so he was basically around like 18 to 22-year-old men all the time, and so this is how he.
Yeah.
But guess what? Shout out to the Cleveland Browns. In one of my pictures, it was me and my grandpa in Cleveland Browns gear at a game, and he was like, and we were living in Indianapolis, and he was like, "That's my girl."
Oh,
that's
I love that.
Funny.
And then our
And
first,
I love that you're both living in Indy.
yeah,
And
Yeah.
you met each other there, but then you ultimately decided to move back to the Cleveland area.
and our first date was a Cavs Pacers game, and did I come decked out in my LeBron James
Oh, yeah.
gear?
Mhm.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, baby.
Go girl.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So why? Okay, so things have obviously changed,
Yeah.
right? Like
Oh,
your
yeah.
mom and grandma
So
are like, why would you ever date someone you met online? And then you're like, well, I did this 8 years ago when there were only like 3 sites you
Yeah.
could do it on, and now Shanna's doing it.
we
like,
did some research. There's
we've
a
got
site
like
for everything.
30 sites. I mean, there's one called Farmers Only. Like, if you are a
There's
farmer,
one called Bagels and Coffee. I don't know why I didn't go on
She
that
has a
site
friend
to
that
start
uses
with.
I have a friend that uses it successfully. Is been
No.
dating.
I'm telling you, if you can drink coffee with me, like we already are 50% compatible. Right
Yes.
this.
She
Well,
met
there we
her
go.
current boyfriend. Shout out Julia on Coffee Meets Bagel.
awesome.
Coffee meets bagel. That's
you know
what
what
the name
there's
is.
not a site for?
Yeah.
Let me Cowboys.
Oh, so
Hey,
she's been looking for a
business-
cowboy.
Business
Business
opportunity.
You can tell that we're both entrepreneurs. Business opportunity. There'll be a cowboy online page. You know how to build an app.
I
I got the
can't
information.
build it. I know
Well-
how to project manage other people to build it.
Great. We will have that cowboy page up real soon.
All right. So the question is, what's changed? Like, why are
What
we
are you
dating
doing?
online instead of meeting people in
Why are
bars
you,
and at
yeah,
church?
why do you pick online? Like, what made you go online? What makes you stay online after hearing your story?
Pure desperation.
No. No sound effects, producer. No.
I'll make my own.
Do it.
No, but I mean for real. Like when I started the adventure, my daughter was a baby. She had her health challenges over the years, right? So that was difficult. And as a single mom, I don't get support, so I don't have that help system. So I don't know, like $8 an hour to pay a high school kid to come over and watch my kid.
And that's on the cheap end.
Yeah. So like,
Yeah,
if I want,
for sure.
if I want gonna go out on a date with a guy, right? Like, I'm getting the low end babysitter to come over for $8 an hour, and I'm going out for what? 3, like, drive time.
Yeah.
Take a minute because I nobody comes to my house. So 3-4 hours later, and then like if you end up in an awkward situation and you pick up the tab or something else, like it could easily be $100 a night, and I don't even know if you're like okay.
Yeah.
Not to mention
Yeah.
I work 2 jobs, so I work my butt off.
Taking that
so
time. Yeah.
I'm taking time away from my kids. So I would rather you fill out an application online.
I love that, and
for
she
me.
does.
I love
So
it.
they are very good friends, and me and her, I get a lot of phone calls of, I'm going out this Friday night, you're my emergency call, or this person filled out an app, and that's what they are. They're applications. Like, I laughed when she first said that until I kind of found myself like in this world a little bit, and I'm like, you're right. Like, you're interviewing them.
Well, and I treat it like an interview process, right? So if you like cross it over to like what happens in corporate, like, and I try not to. I've just learned that that's kind of the thing. So trial and error, right? So like,
Yeah.
I'll talk to you for a little while on the app, and you know, if you don't do one of like the creepy things that immediately make me delete you, and I think you're somewhat okay.
And let me just tell you, we've had dinner, and she's like, somebody says hi. Someone says hi, and I'm like, oh, he's nice. And she goes, give it a minute.
One,
And then I'm like,
2, 3.
What? Like, I have
pictures.
seen things on her phone that cannot be erased.
I can't even believe
No.
that this is real life.
It's real life.
Like, first
then-
off, that is illegal. Isn't it illegal? It's not illegal?
Only if they're
Not
under
illegal.
18.
I just feel
And
like
I
you
hope
shouldn't do
that
it. Okay,
she-
it's not illegal, but it's not ethical.
It's not illegal. So you get these things, and then like, so you start talking to a guy, and he turns out not to be creepy. The next stage is a phone screening, right? Like,
Yeah.
if I can't have a conversation with you, you're not worth me paying a babysitter, taking time away from my kid, or like out of all the things that I have to do in a day, right? So we talk on the phone, and if you're still a weirdo, we don't go out. And if you might be able to have a conversation,
You mean if you're a creeper, like our sign?
yeah, I mean, you'd be
So
surprised.
if you had to like just kind of guesstimate at numbers, would you say that like how many go from texting conversation all the way to like actually meeting them in person?
Do you know what? It blows my mind because I get a lot of like, you'll have a conversation with somebody, and I think I've been guilty of the same. So if any of my friends are watching, oops. But I will have a great conversation with somebody for a couple weeks, and then life happens, and then there's like nothing. And sometimes that just happens that way.
But that's
right?
going to happen in real life.
Because it's an app. It's not a text message coming to my phone. It's not a phone call. Like, you just kind of disappear. And a lot of those like really cool conversations, and you talk and you think you really click, and you're like, oh, this one might not be a psychopath. I might have fun. And then all of a sudden, like, it's disappear. And like a month later, they pop up or find you on Facebook and send you a creepy message. And you're like, oh, hey.
Yeah. So real quick, we've had a couple comments come through. So Rosie, for instance, Rosie's a good friend of mine. I am very sorry. She's going through a divorce. She has 2 very young children. I believe the one is under 1 and and Vincent might be like 2 or 3. She like comments, after her divorce, rediscovering herself. And I have to say, when we get married, you do, I don't know where everybody's religion thing, but you become one. Like, you form to what they like, they form to what you create a new being. I would say, like, not a being, but a new image. You guys, I can speak personally to this, Rosie, that, like, there is a lot that I've rediscovered. There's a song with Miss Me. It's a country song about, it's about how you miss who you are. You have to, this different age and this, being the age I am and where my kids are, I had to find out what my likes were, and I had to rediscover myself. And I would say, Rosie, that's really important. And online dating might be a great thing for you, but with young kids, you're going to have to find you first, because she's been married a very long time. So thank you for chiming in, Rosie. Somebody
One of
asked
the
about-
things I wanted to say too about that was, now again, this is a long time ago, but I always told myself that if I was actually going to do online dating, I was going to be real and authentic. And so I was careful about the pictures that I posted.
Yes.
Oh yeah, because
That-
the Facebook filters. will
No,
change quite a bit.
well, first of all, that didn't exist, but I could know my angles like Olivia
Thanks, Olivia.
taught us. But I was very authentic about, like, I wasn't going to put only the best pictures of me up. And
Yeah.
I put pictures of myself doing things that I liked. Like, I remember there was one of me hiking in Ireland. Now, when you're hiking, you're not exactly glamorous, right? But that was something that I liked
But
to
you
do.
were real.
Well, I
and
got a
you're-
picture of me like a
Eat-
catfish.
yeah.
Do you really?
Yeah,
I'll show you my
that's
profile right
awesome.
now.
So,
There's
but
no
that
shame
was
in
like
my
one thing, and I
That's important.
yeah, and I always said, like, I'm not gonna be somebody I'm not, and so for me that turned out to be successful. But I think that was, and I have several friends that have met their significant others, husbands, online, and that was like always a big thing with them. It's just like, I'm not gonna pretend to be somebody I'm not, and because you can kind of like interview more
Yeah.
people that way, it kind of gets to the heart of the matter pretty quickly.
That's really smart. Because, like, how do we feel in general about the fact that when you're online dating, there's so much of that, like, your first impression is off the picture, right?
Yeah.
It is.
Because
Well,
there's apps.
So,
I
and
don't- I
there's
haven't been on
apps
the
that
app.
you don't even see the profile really. You
All
see
you
the
know is
picture
appearance.
only.
but
and-
they do checks. So the smart thing, you talked about apps for everything.
What do you mean
right?
they do checks?
So like it's the app that you choose. So we'll use Bumble for an example, right?
Okay.
Bumble's kind of cool.
By the way, you have to go to our page and watch that video. I cry when I see it. Because
Yeah,
it's so accurate.
It's pretty funny. But Bumble, for example, you can either sign up for like the friends category or like I want to be something real, right? So I like the way that they classify it out.
That's
Right.
nice.
So wait, I can
So-
go on there and just find friends.
Yeah, I mean, I need friends. Do you?
well, they have
I need-
Bumble. Yeah, that's Bumble BFF.
As long as they don't
It's
send me
part of it.
pictures.
But it's the
I don't
same
need that
app,
type
so
of
you just
friends.
pick it up, right? So I mean, that's kind of cool. It's nice to know that like dating's reaching out to like more than just like dating, right? Like
Well-
you make people that you have in common with.
Yeah.
But the other thing that it does is that you can pick to have it like it asks you, do you want to verify your profile? And verify your profile means a Bumble analyst is going to take the photos that you posted and the things that you said in your profile, and they're going to read your Facebook page. And they're going to look for you can only put photos on Bumble if it's been a profile picture of yours on Facebook.
That's
Oh.
awesome.
You know that they're
So you
real.
know
At
they're
least
real.
not
real.
fake.
Now it might be like 10 years ago because yeah, that happens. People be weirdos, but at least then I know they're on Facebook. So if I can get their last name out of them, I can screen them before and do my own background check.
Well, and that's important. And I've noticed, that I have a lot of friends, even on the flip side, that are guys and that are online dating, and girls as well, that have been like, I've shown up. I've shown up to dates, and this picture's like 10 years old, and this girl is, looks totally different. And not that looks really should determine it all, but if you're lying already straightforward about what you look like,
Right.
and you're posting that beautiful picture with your hair perfect, you better show up half that decent. Like,
Well, that's just the thing.
or
You
it's
have
just going to be a
post-
drive-by.
If you lied to me before we even met, that's like a clear indication when I go out with somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Is
Oh,
there
yeah.
nothing like what their profile says? Like if the photo is 8 years old and it's not that authentic you that you were talking about, like we're not even going to hang out again.
Yeah,
Like,
you
you
know
never
right there.
have
You already have a vision of what that relationship's going to be.
Absolutely.
So,
Wow.
no, I agree.
I'm really glad you shared that, like, they have ways to verify your profile, because that was going to be one of our questions is, like,
Mhm.
is it safe? Like, how do you, like, in your experience, how have you met people in a safe way to make sure that they are who they are?
Please
So
hear this
one I
horror
carry.
story.
Do you
really?
No. I mean, it's all about being smart. So my first date will never be at a bar with somebody, and I've learned that over the years, right? Like, I don't need alcohol to have a good time with you, and one, I definitely don't want to, right?
Yeah.
I want to be able to have a conversation. So I typically encourage people when I meet them. The Barnes and Nobles in Fairlawn is amazing because there's that coffee shop, but
Yeah.
like you can
And you
also
can kind of walk
walk
around.
around and talk. That's usually my go-to, and
Mm-hmm.
it's 4 minutes from my house, so I don't have to pay the extra hour of the overpriced babysitter. And you know what I mean? Like,
She's an entrepreneur, online dater.
I am, but you can go through. You know what I mean? Like, it's a safe place. They're open later. There's no alcohol. There's no pressure. It's a well-lit parking lot. To Danielle's point, I always tell a friend where I'm going and have a back out, so I can send my go-to message is if I send you a blank text message, you wait approximately 3 to 5 minutes. You call my phone and pretend there's an emergency with my kid.
And we know where she
and
is if they don't respond. Yeah.
That it's loud, like so he can hear my kids throwing up. And if somebody's watching, then I pulled that on. Oops, my bad. But I do it all the time. I've gone.
She does. I have been out and I get this. I'm going out. This is the time I'm arriving. If you get my text message, like I am her emergency plan.
Peace.
How often have you had to use that emergency plan?
A few times. A lot.
A lot.
But yeah, it's just people. I don't know why people lie, right?
Yeah.
Well,
But,
what's
like,
the point? I mean, I get here. So trying to like understand where it's coming from. Like we are all human. We want conversation. We want to be loved. I get like talking to somebody and getting that conversation, but to blatantly lie and then be able to go out and face them, I'm like, you have balls. Sorry, but I'm like, you completely. Do you actually think this relationship's gonna work? Like, do you actually think that I'm gonna continue talking to you?
Yeah, I think my hardest part about it is it's almost like I don't know if it's like the fact that I'm older now doing it, but you find yourself in a lot of weird situations where they think because you are a single mom and you're in your mid-30s that you're gonna come out with me and then all of a sudden I'm gonna go out to the car and whatever. Do you know what I mean? Like, and that's multiple times where you get in those situations where like, hi, I just met you, walking around, right? And
Yeah,
you're like,
no.
don't touch me, don't like whatever. Like, what happened to like hold the door open for
That's
me?
not the dating
Let's have
Right.
dinner.
So-
not.
Like,
Well,
that
they don't
doesn't
even want.
exist anymore.
Oh no, So I can tell you this, and this was. I was married 5 years, so this was 6 years ago when I was. Like, they don't even want to take you to dinner anymore. They don't, and this was 7 years. I don't know what.
Well, I don't want to have dinner with them anyway.
They don't want to take you to dinner. They don't want to do that. I can't tell you how many times I've been asked, "Hey, do you want to come over and I'll make you dinner?" No, I am not coming to your house for you to make me dinner. Like, and then when I would respond and be like, "That's not really my thing. Like, can we meet in a public place?" They would get all offended.
So one of my questions
Have you read the Craigslist ad? No.
Right. One of my questions was going to be
and
like,
is it romantic? True.
like,
there's
where's the chivalry nowadays? Like you mentioned
Yes.
earlier that like sometimes when you go out, like you pick up the check, and like so I'm curious. When I dated, it was 12 or more years ago, and it was very common for the man to pick up the check. Like, is that still a thing? Has that
No.
changed?
It's not a thing.
Dutch is the thing. In many cases,
and to be real,
I'm okay with.
I am okay with that because these guys, like I have friends that are online dating and they're guys and they have totally been taken advantage of.
Yeah, there's no expectation.
So I agree that going Dutch I think is okay, and I think that
prefer.
it's okay to discuss that ahead of time.
Yeah, I have a friend. It's funny because she lived in London. I won't mention her name, but she'll know exactly who she is if she's listening. Because I only have one friend that ever lived in London.
It wasn't me.
It wasn't
Me
you.
neither.
So she lived in London, and so she literally at one point dated a Dutch guy. So then she was like, "Hey guys, it's actually real. Like going Dutch is actually like a Dutch thing." So that's just a side note. But also, she went on a date with a guy. He wasn't Dutch, but just otherwise. And she was like, "Okay, this date's not so bad. Like this is fine." They did the whole little check dance, like who's gonna pay. He ended up paying. She offered, but he insisted. So he paid. They went home. He asked her out for a second date, and by that point, she had decided, you know what, this guy just like.
And that makes you feel uncomfortable then.
No.
I'm like, can I give you the $10 for my dinner back?
No.
Hold on.
No, just hold
That's
on.
how I am.
Just hold on.
Just
So
gotta put up-
she said, hey, like, decide I'm not interested in another date. And he asked for his money back because he didn't get anything out of the deal.
So, okay. So,
And then at that point, her response was, I don't know what you thought this was, but I'm not a prostitute.
Hey Spencer, that's why I love you
Cheers.
so much.
so I'm going to be honest. I feel that was rude with what he did, but I can see where he came from.
No.
Like,
You bought
what?
the meal to be nice, not
No.
to get something.
No, but he bought it in hopes that they could possibly continue dating. Like, hopefully he wasn't like, hey, I thought I was going to get something tonight.
But that
Like,
was like his
okay,
choice in
but
the
it's
moment.
it's not even that. Like just on the first date.
I'm
You
all
know how
standing up
many
for the guys
times,
over
like-
here.
Like I think like we jumped in the conversation to say like, hey, we just met. But like if I open my app right now and I showed you people that I've connected with, we can probably connect with 3 people right now in the next 5 minutes that will send me a message, right? And in that message,
We should do that live. Don't announce any names.
right? So as I do this, I want watch.
Don't show any pictures.
This is great.
Please don't send pictures.
It's time to update. I don't want to update. Right.
Oh,
I will get a first message. Boom. One swipe. It took me one person to connect.
10 seconds. She has a date.
He just got a notification on his phone that says, hey, this person said hey. But I get to mention first, so I'm like,
So Bumble, the girls have first message. Guys can't message them. So you message them, and they have 24 hours to respond. Once they respond, the connection is made, and you guys can keep messaging each other.
I love
So it
it.
does put more control into the woman's hands.
yeah, so at least I can pick that. Like, I know.
Look at her
this
just swiping left. She ain't liking anybody.
There's a
And
lot
I never
of
Okay,
know.
so anyway,
Granted,
so I'm
wow.
gonna get a message sometime in this podcast that says, hey,
But
how
wait,
are
can
you?
I show you something real quick? Can I see your phone?
Boom. There's another one.
I'm dying over
Can I see your phone for 2 seconds, like on the swiping part?
This is crazy to me.
This
Yeah.
is insane. No, you have to see this. Or where's my phone? So I don't really want to show this person,
No,
but
don't show the person.
all it is a picture. That's it. She's swiping right or
Well, I
left.
can read
on
the
a picture.
profile if I had
You
time.
can
I
read
was
the
trying
profile.
to prove a point.
First off, he is definitely a swipe. No, there's no words on his profile.
Left to the left to the left.
Yeah. But you're
Everything
judging
you own
on a
in the
picture.
box to the
So,
left.
and I can bring up previous conversations that I've had with people, right? So,
I
like,
don't know.
I can bring up one that says, oh, hey, how are you? I'm great, right? How are you? Things are great. What are you doing tonight? Nothing. You want to hang out? I mean, it's kind
You
of
just
short.
said hi.
It's kind of short.
And then a picture comes. I'm
It's,
sorry.
it's kind of short notice, and then picture.
Picture. Like,
Do you
really?
want to cuddle? And that picture is not a picture of anything I want to see. And
Okay, so
You
hi,
guys!
how are you? There should. Yeah.
How in the
hi,
heck is
I
this
just
real
met
life?
you.
Hey,
Here's
producer,
my
I need
DP.
more wine.
Touch it, maybe.
What
That's
do you
literally
think
what
about it?
happened.
Like, why?
Stop.
Stop sending them.
Stop.
First off, okay, let me just say this. It's not that attractive to see a picture of it. Like, it really is not.
Oh,
Producer.
It's not an attractive picture. You're not going to get anywhere with hi,
First
how
of
are
all-
you? Here's a picture of
First of
my.
all,
I'm
when
gonna
you
stop.
say it probably took that man probably 3 minutes to send that whole conversation with me, which means he was already playing with it or had the picture on his phone.
Either
Either
way,
way,
creepy.
embarrassing.
I'm so glad that I did this.
Point is, okay,
For an
so
app.
we can
and
all
of
laugh
that.
about this and we can all make jokes about it, and believe me, this girl has some stories that will just blow you up. But how else do you meet somebody these days?
Right.
I mean, if you're engaged in your business, I mean, I watch dogs. I pet dogs for a living. Love what I do, and I sell 31. I work with the majority of women. I don't do bars. I don't. Oh my gosh, Bethany,
you bring up
eggplant.
that's an eggplant.
That
You
is-
need to know what that means.
that
because
is-
my 11-year-old schooled me on that in a counseling appointment.
That is not an eggplant, guys.
That's not an eggplant. So
Girl.
I have to tell you, I am sitting in a counseling appointment.
What's happening?
I'm sitting in a counseling appointment, and a friend of mine, he did not send me a picture of it, nothing like that. He sent a joke about this person is and he put an eggplant. And I'm looking at it in a Christian counseling appointment, and I'm like, what do you mean he's an eggplant? My 11-year-old looks over to me and was like, Mom, that doesn't mean eggplant. I'm like, what do you mean? It's an eggplant. It's purple.
That's what it is.
It's an eggplant.
Honey.
Guys, it's not an eggplant.
The same kind of
Why?
pictures that I was getting.
An eggplant.
That's
An
an
eggplant.
eggplant.
So anyways,
But it is an eggplant.
serious note.
Okay, so
Where do
my
you meet people?
You can
Like,
have a
where-
very dirty
pause.
conversation and just
my
emojis.
wine glass says wine because punching people in the face is illegal.
Well, if they showed you an eggplant, you would punch them in the face.
I know.
So would your
I'm
husband.
like upset. I'm upset that this is real life.
Oh, there's like all kinds. There's like peaches.
Okay, we
and-
gotta move on. Okay,
Anyways,
Moving on.
All right.
we're moving on from the pictures
Yeah.
because
Just so you know, those emojis mean something totally different on an 11-year-old.
Okay, so it's not just the pictures, right? So then you connect, right? And it's, hi, how are you? Do you want to hang out? And I'm like, okay, we've been talking now for maybe it's been a couple days, right? So what do you want to? Yes, let's hang out. What do you want to do? Well, how about we come over to my house and cuddle? I'd really like to cuddle.
we
First of
don't
all,
want to cuddle with
I
you.
don't know any man who just wants to cuddle that doesn't even know the girl, right?
Wow.
Like that's weird. But
I
like,
did ask my
3 out of
husband when
5.
we were dating to come over and cuddle, but it was my request, and we had dated. We had been
That's
on multiple
different.
dates.
you
I don't want to cuddle you if I don't know your middle last
Maybe we
name.
hadn't
then-
been on
but
dates,
it's not-
drink coffee
but
with me.
like we at least had met multiple times.
and every
Yeah.
single person that asks the question, "Do you want to cuddle?" sends me a graphic text message,
An
or a
eggplant.
photo,
They send
or
her an
a
eggplant.
request that
How
I
is
would
that
never want
okay?
my daughter to read.
It's not okay.
So
And you
I
know
have
what?
a
Wait a
question.
minute. She brings up two things I want to address. Okay. So she brings up she doesn't want her daughter to read this. Another thing I want to touch on is how do, like, if we are making this okay, like in this day and age, like you don't go to a bar, you work in, mostly women. Also, you're not supposed to date at work anyway. I was an HR manager for years.
Right.
You dated at work, I wrote you up. So like, we do it.
my work is.
We do it, but you're not supposed to. So if you're not doing that, online dating is the way to go to meet people. But then, how do you? I'm gonna tell you the truth. I don't want to tell my daughter who's 11, mommy's meeting strangers online and going and cuddling. Like, how do you tell your kid that? So how do you approach that in this day and age to tell your daughter who you say, don't talk to strangers, meet a Christian boy and do all the.
I keep
and all
it
these
very
things.
separate.
Well,
Yeah.
and I
So,
think
like-
the point is also to meet the person in person at, like you were saying, at like a coffee shop, somewhere appropriate, because you're meeting in public. I mean, yeah, you might have started the conversation
There
online,
should be like buttons under the table. There should be a place.
Right.
Here's another
like a
business.
bank.
Like
Wait,
you can press buttons.
like-
Evacuate.
Oh my God.
exit.
You can
you
go
may
out.
have met online and you may have coordinated the date online, but if at the end of the day you're meeting at Barnes and Noble and having coffee, could not that have happened in a normal walk of life? You could have been just like bumped into someone. Oh, we almost spilled our coffee,
I don't
and
think
now
so.
like you fall in
I don't
love.
do that. No.
No, because-
But my point is that it's not wrong. Like that, telling your
It's
daughter
not
like
wrong.
that you met your husband for the first time
So,
in a Barnes and Noble
I'm
can
gonna
still
be
be the
really
story.
real. And I don't know if my ex-husband would approve of me sharing this, but
Does he need to approve?
I mean, I doubt he watches these things anyway. But I feel guilty for some reason sharing it. I don't know why. But we met on Match.com, and we met our first time at Dunkin' Donuts. And so from then on, we told everybody we met at Dunkin' Donuts.
Well, it's true.
We did meet at technically, yeah, we met
know what,
at
I
Dunkin'
had
Donuts, but we never told people that we met online. And we both had some sense, and this is some concerning to a certain extent, we both had some concern of telling people that we
The
were in
shame
love
factor.
and that we got married, but we met online. Like,
No,
both
So
of
I
us-
I
yeah.
want to hear Sarah's story about that because I know that she's had experiences with that.
So
Our
one
producer's
of the
going to be fired soon, just so you know.
one of the things that was a big part now, because it wasn't an app, it was still on a website and things like that when I was dating, is that
They
there
didn't,
was,
wait, well, I'm so sorry.
Were apps a thing back then?
They didn't have apps back then?
there was no smartphone. Anyway, maybe like an iPhone 1. No, yeah.
Whoa!
You had to get on a computer.
I think I may have had like one of those slide up phones. No,
Oh
no.
my.
The slide up.
Was your computer
Kickstart?
a
A
box?
Kickstart.
Yeah, it was something.
Screen or a flat screen? I'm just kidding. Okay, go on.
Anyway,
Oh, John's
but there
on
was
too. I know that John married his wife online. There's several people that are on that
Yeah.
met online.
So
I
one
was-
of the things that was a thing was like there was like this thing called guided communication. So there was like
I
some
need that in my daily life.
pretty serious conversation topics that you had before you were allowed to get to what was called open communication.
Interesting.
And so you had to go through
Pictures
all
ain't
of
getting
through
through that.
steps, and at any point you could like
Mine
end
did
it. This was on eHarmony.
So you had to like basically just ask these questions. Are they? Yeah.
So
chaperone
it
is a
was
good
kind
way to
it was
put it.
it was very guided. So it was like these certain set of questions, and they were kind of like I would call them like short essays. And like I was at that time, like there were still a lot of people, so like I was like, okay, I know what they're gonna ask, and so I would have it ready.
Copy and
but-
paste,
Yeah, copy
yeah.
and paste it.
I'm sorry, but you get sick of sharing your story. Like if
But-
another person's like,
right.
"Hey, what's your story?"
But,
I don't give
but
it-
I'll
I don't
but
give
I'll
it
be
anymore.
honest. So you got to kind of like see like where people ranked family, having
Yeah.
kids, like all that kind of stuff. And then once you got to open communication, so I was matched with John New Year's weekend or whatever. So like
That
the
was
first
fast.
or second, right?
Because
And then
New Year's Eve was when it
right,
started.
exactly. But like
Wow.
our first date was it was January 29th. So like there was a couple of weeks in there where it was kind of forced. So that was like one thing that I found was helpful. But going back to the whole conversation of did you tell people you met online? No, I did not.
You did tell me.
I did tell you because you were one of my closest friends.
And I will say, like, so Sarah was always like a calm dater. Like, she was smart. Like, she was wise beyond her years. I dated some idiots.
Yes, she did.
Yeah, and she witnessed them all. And I would like let it like drag out a long time when it should have ended way sooner. And Sarah would be like on date 3 and be like, "Nope, he's not for me."
Done.
And
Can
so
you be my life coach right now?
she's real
like,
good
right
at it.
now. I
Real
need
good.
you.
I
So
never
you
wanted to.
Screen my online.
I never wanted to introduce any undue drama into my life, and that
Yeah.
was like a big thing. Even like as like in high school, I
Yeah,
was like that.
super
That's
wise.
amazing.
You were just like, it either is or it isn't.
Yeah.
And it isn't. And so when she came to tell me about John, they had only known each other a couple months. Like, had been dating a couple months. It was spring break. You're probably home from college on spring break. And I was
Grad
like,
school, or no, it was
yeah.
it was after graduate school though.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway,
but it still would have
continue.
been in the spring.
Yeah.
And I was like, she's going to marry this guy. She's going to marry this guy because she, like, actually has dated him more than once.
It's true.
Because she's so wise.
But
Love
I will
it.
say that like it was not a big thing. I was kind of not ashamed because like I would have never met him otherwise. But at the same time, like it wasn't as culturally acceptable. And so I remember like turning all shades of red at my wedding because my brother-in-law, who I love dearly, hello Christopher, he brought up that we met on eHarmony, and I was like during his best man speech, and I just
You freak out.
I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't want that to be brought up. But like if we had met now, like that's not even like a taboo
But I
thing.
can't
Yeah, it was
say
weird
that-
about it in the beginning, right? Like, it was always like having that conversation, like, if we actually make it, if you tell anybody, I will kill you. But now I could care less.
So, but like I know so like the percentage of my friends now.
Oh, yeah.
That like as we have gone along in our 20s and now into our 30s, like mid 30s, let's be real. It's just a much more common, and like I said, like a lot of people have said, like it's just more efficient because I don't want to have to do a screening process on all of these people.
There's a couple.
Yeah.
There's a couple reasons why it works, right? Like, first of all, if you go out anywhere today, whether it's a bar, it's a restaurant, I mean, shoot. I mean, I'm not even like a bar person, right? But I go to the gym and everybody is like this.
Mm-hmm.
And I see it at work too. And we just seem to communicate better with people from behind a screen. And I feel like over time, we've lost the ability to have true, genuine, face-to-face conversations with individuals.
I agree.
And whether it's a confidence booster or I'm not sure what I'm doing, like, I can tell anybody off and use all the emojis in the world and do everything from behind the screen. And then if you come up to me in my face, right, I may not be 100% confident or comfortable in my own skin to be able to say it, right? So I think that's part of it, because a lot of dating is about letting your guard down, being vulnerable, right? Like, we've heard the term wear your heart on your sleeve. Like, that's never a comfortable process for anybody, and it's easy to hide behind a screen.
Yeah, I've witnessed that with another friend of mine that has recently entered the dating scene, and she, through an app, agreed to have a phone conversation with somebody, was on the phone for like 25 minutes, and honestly just needed to like get to bed. Like, it was just late at night, and I think like a 25-minute phone call, like nowadays, that's really long.
Unheard of.
Like,
If you get me to answer my phone,
the only
you
one
are
I
like,
talk to that long is my mom. Like, I don't talk to anybody that long.
Sorry,
on the
Mom.
phone.
I don't even talk. She'll call and I'll just text her. What did you want?
Yeah. So she had a 25-minute conversation and started to say, hey, I need to get going. And she was about to finish her sentence and say, can we talk again tomorrow? But instead he hung up and he instantly started texting her, calling her names and saying terrible things about how she apparently wanted nothing to do with him
Well, because he's insecure.
and all this stuff. And
Yeah.
it's like,
He
she
freaked
just
out.
talked to him. She's gave him 25 minutes of her life.
So red flag. At least she didn't get 3
Bigger,
hours.
Oh, yeah.
At least she didn't get more
And then
time.
it was
and that's
really
how you have to look at
sad, like, and this leads into our next question. Like, it was really sad because that one was actually on Christian Mingle, and she was like, I thought I was meeting nice people. And so it's like
I have heard that
Which-
Christian mingle is probably one of the worst.
and I
So-
kind of wonder if it's because people think that there's easy targets on there.
I
It's
don't
one of the
think-
things I wonder,
yeah,
but
I don't think it's just Christian mingle though.
but
like,
that's gonna be my question. Like, there's so many out there. Have you had any experiences to say like which ones are good? Are they all
they're all crap.
a mix?
They're
So-
all crap.
They have their benefits and they have their downsides, but just like any other business
Yeah.
out there, right? Like, I personally prefer Bumble because I have the control. There's a lot of filters and different things that you can put on there. Like, mine clearly says I'm a Christian woman looking for a Christian man between these certain age factors. So they look for those pings on their
Yeah.
profile, or they wouldn't even be there for me to look at. The other nice thing I like about it is I'm in control, so I send the first message.
You know what I like
I-
about it? Your GPS. You have to talk on that too.
Okay, but then they're gonna know my secret.
Oh no, like this is the only reason I will go on this.
I need to
Because-
know about this.
Because I'm a little bit of a control freak now.
So
This I think you
This
started
is
telling me
gonna
about this, and it's a little creepy.
It is very creepy, but it is exactly what I want.
I do like that there's a GPS
Creep.
factor on Bumble. So if, let's just say hypothetically, you're on Bumble and I'm on Bumble, we match.
Like,
right?
lie to me. Tell me where you're at.
And we're it's not that. It's tell me, it gives you the city that they last logged in at.
Okay.
So you can't lie to me. Like, if you're telling me like that you're local to the Cleveland area, you're in town, like, great, right? If I meet you and you're just somebody, I travel for a living, so I could totally fool somebody. I could be
Yeah.
in San Jose for the weekend or the week, and I could be working there on business and tell them I'm local and feed them a bunch of crap, and then 4 days later I'm in Cleveland, Ohio. Like,
Right.
you would know I'm in Cleveland,
So
Ohio.
can I share that story? Can we
No.
share it? Okay,
No.
never mind.
There's
That
some
was
secret stories.
anticlimactic.
Basically, let me summarize the story without giving the
Let-
details.
yeah, like
I had met a guy who I thought was really awesome, and we actually started going out and having what I thought was a real, authentic
Yeah,
relationship.
yeah.
However, we did not make the commitment to date exclusively yet. Like, we were still both very actively, vocally playing the online dating world and just trying to see, like, if we meshed together.
yeah.
Mhm.
We had hung out about 5 different times. We weren't quite sure what up. And, he had been telling me all the things, right, that he's doing.
All the
and
things, all the right things.
All the right things. Like, I thought this man was, like, legit going, like, potentially I could actually date you and you have like, I could see the long vision.
Yeah,
the
gotcha.
long game with this one. So I started strategizing the long game until, we were supposed to go out one night and he tells me that he got stuck late at work and blah, 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 blah. And rather than texting me, he messages me through the app. Well, when
Wrong.
when I sign
choice,
into the
dude.
app, I know he works in this Canton, we'll call it, but lived in, like, Cleveland.
Yeah.
And when he's messaging me through the app and not through the text message, I could see that he's clearly in Cleveland. And he's telling me
not at work.
about how he's at work in Canton and he feels so bad that we can't get together tonight and blah, 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 blah. And, like, that was a straight up red flag. Like, it's not that, like, I was looking at the GPS
It just comes
stuff.
back to the lying. Like, if you're going to
But-
be on there, tell the truth.
Why would
Yeah.
you lie to me and say that, like, there was no work office, there was no nothing. It was clearly.
Well, and
when
especially
I called
because
him
you
out,
said that it was an open, like you were still in the early stages, so it's not like you were expecting him
I
to
could
not
care
be with
less.
somebody else, but just tell me the truth.
Yeah, don't
Yeah,
lie.
yeah, and that's
Yeah.
a big thing. I mean, let's face it, your whole relationship, like your marriage, your future is on honesty and telling the truth. If you're lying now, like
About something that small.
something so
Yeah.
little, where's this gonna go? And that's kind of, I don't know if men just, and I'm not gonna just say men, because there's women out there that do the exact same thing.
Correct.
But, why waste your time? Like, these cost money. Like, you pay to be on several of these.
girl, I don't pay for any of these.
You pay for Match and eHarmony, though.
I did pay for Match.
So
for
that
2
was my
years.
other
And it was
question.
a
Like,
joke.
why pay just to fool people? Like,
So
was a
back in when I started, there was kind of a different train of thought of like, okay, you're gonna get higher quality of people
if you pay.
if you pay because
That's
you're
what I've
more
heard.
invested.
I got
Yeah.
more creeps when I paid.
Now I
Really?
I will tell you, I had a former roommate of mine.
Mm-hmm.
No, not
There is now.
There is now.
You can have, like, basic, you can message. this you can do a little bit more. There are tiers and
My
Is
mom
it
is
tiers
watching.
of,
Hi,
like,
Mom.
Tiers of functionality or tiers of quality of
well,
men?
like Bumble, for instance,
Just asking.
you can
Right?
only so if you
Mom, I
wrongly-
need you to log off. This is weird.
Jackie's watching.
So if I understand correctly on Bumble, if you swipe the wrong way and you want to get that person back, you like shake your phone. You can get that person back, but you can only do up to 3 of them without paying. Or something like that.
So I did have
That's
a friend
what we call
that
premium.
premium rate.
Premium.
that did meet on like OkCupid, which is free or was free. I don't know about now, but like so like there.
That creeps me out though. So I
But
would
she's-
never ever go on a free one because I'm like.
she
if it's
said
free,
she
No,
said
I'm
in her mind
Falling on budget.
that it was because she didn't feel any pressure. So like she's like I can just like deny them all because I'm not paying for anything.
Oh,
And
interesting.
so like
yeah.
but like so that was her mindset. My mindset was I was gonna do it for a month and if it didn't go anywhere I didn't care.
well,
like-
and it was free weekend for you.
Yeah, but
Coupon.
coupon weekend. But you couldn't see any pictures.
That's really funny.
well, maybe you could. No,
So
no,
did you go out on a
no,
date
no,
with
no,
John
no.
without
You know what?
pictures?
You could
Now
only
that I
see
think about
some
it-
of them or something like that.
Now that I think about it, I believe mine was a coupon too. I had.
Well, now you know to pay full price next
I
time.
had. Yeah. Well, hers worked. Mine did not.
That's
That's the story. So mine
That
was,
was beautiful.
I got 30 days for free.
oh,
And I said to my friend, because I lost
You
the
get what you
bet,
pay for?
That's enough to shame.
It was too easy.
I know.
I
that's
did.
funny
I
jokes.
got what I paid for. What
That
I,
determines the
Oh,
quality of the picture.
my goodness, that is crazy.
oh my gosh. I got nothing. I got nothing to follow up
All
on
right.
that.
Sorry.
So where I want to land is, can it work? Like
That's
we've
funny.
kind of like
Yeah.
given it a bad rap. I think dating in your 30s is just hard.
Yeah.
Like anyone that I know that's
I
dating
don't
in
have
their
time.
30s.
If I'm going into a coffee shop, I don't have time to talk to you. You're either getting
Well-
a 31 catalog or I'm getting my coffee and I gotta go.
And I have a
I'll
friend.
talk to you if you put a sticker on your arm.
I have a friend.
Yeah, like
I have a friend who's re-entered the dating scene, and like she's amazing. At, like literally, like one time she struck up conversation in the line at Starbucks and ended up sitting down with the guy and talking for 2 hours. So she's like a master at that. But it's still like he turned out to be an idiot. So it's just like dating in your 30s is hard. And
Yeah.
so whether it's on like obviously it can work no matter what age you are, but like does it work? Can online dating work? You're one example of it working. Like, have you had
I'm a
successes?
mediocre example.
You're mediocre.
It worked for a while.
Have you had times where you're like, okay, this could have gone somewhere, but there was just some kind of flaw that wasn't like,
Oh my gosh,
A
I don't know what my
picture.
dad's laughing about.
but maybe it's just
No.
you don't
I
do
had
the same
nope.
things.
I had one short-term relationship out of there. Never introduced my daughter, so didn't get far enough for that.
So literally, none of the people you've dated online, you've introduced to your daughter.
I've introduced one man to my daughter, and he was introduced through a friend.
Wow,
Mm.
I respect that.
Yeah.
That's like really awesome.
I
Well,
make
she
it
ain't
a-
bringing him home then. That's
Yeah, I make it a point to keep my dating life separate from my personal life. So, as a mom of, and you know what, I always thought when I left my situation that by like 3 or 4, I would have already. She's 3, 4 years old. I would meet somebody. I'd be like close to that marriage standpoint, and I could
Yeah.
start over and be all right. And I just never got there.
Yeah.
And now, in as she said this morning, 11 days, I'll be 9. Right? So she's 9, and she's halfway to 18. So what I do right now is what she's going to base what she should think a relationship should be like, because she
Exactly.
doesn't have a father figure
yeah.
to lean outside of my dad to lean on.
Mm-hmm.
So she doesn't know what a true relationship looks like.
yeah,
She doesn't know what it's like to have a working mom and dad in the same house.
yeah.
Mhm.
So the best thing that I can do is show her how to find a quality man, and that sure as heck isn't going to be by bringing everybody home that I meet on the street.
Amen.
It's gonna be
Yeah.
by meeting the right one. Now she knows that I date. She doesn't like that I date.
Really?
She
What is
did-
she? What doesn't she like about it?
At first it was like, I want you to date somebody because I want a dad, right? And then it turned into, I don't because I like what we have going on. I introduced her to the show The Gilmore Girls, so
Yeah.
she
Oh,
thinks
I
she's
love
Lori,
the Gilmore
literally.
Girls.
Yeah.
So
Oh.
So
you know,
good.
she likes that dynamic. She likes she likes the idea of me meeting somebody, but I don't think she wants to share me with anybody right now.
That's
Mhm.
super sweet.
And that's
I mean-
where my kids are.
My daughter's my best friend. We jump around. We go kayaking on the weekends in the summer. We're rock climbing. We're hiking. Like, we're constantly doing things. And I think she's afraid if I meet somebody that she won't.
She's gonna have to share you.
Yeah. And now I did introduce her to somebody 2 years ago who I thought was for sure the one. I definitely jumped in faster than I imagined. I introduced her after like 4 months and learned quickly he was not the one shortly afterwards. He also had a son who she became very close with. And when we broke up, I had to get on an airplane and fly to Florida to my grandparents for the weekend because I had to find a way to process myself because I was too scared to tell her. Like, it hurt me more. I knew I made the right decision, but it hurt me more because not only did my heart break, I
You broke
then
hers.
had to go break my daughter's heart.
Oh,
And that's
I will
something-
never do
yeah.
that again.
And
And
that's
like, I want to say like that's like twofold. Like, I love that you've protected her heart enough that would break her heart on one hand, right? Like, because if you introduced her to every man, she'd be like, well, of course he's gone. Like, of course it was only one date. You know,
Yeah,
of course
yeah.
he wasn't cool. But the fact that you withheld that and that you offered it to her, I think is great. It's disappointing that it ended, but I love that the fact that she knew it was serious.
yeah.
But it's
And
also
that's
really
important.
sad.
We talk about it. Like, we have an agreement that she knows that I'm dating, and she knows that mommy doesn't like to be alone. So mommy is going to try to find her Prince Charming, right?
Oh,
But
I love that.
until the slipper fits, he doesn't get to come home to the castle, and that's basically how we explain it. That once I know he's going to be a good fit, then she can have the final decision to vote him off the island or not.
I love
And then she
that.
feels like she's in power.
I
right?
love it.
I love
And that's
that.
important to have. And, you know, I have found myself in that. You know, I have a 7-year-old boy who he made a hope box the other day at counseling, and the little card he put in it was that mommy finds somebody who loves her. Carter is like ready for me to find the first person on the street, bring him home, call him dad, move him in. And my Olivia, she's
That's
11.
so sweet.
Like, he's ready. Like, he's planned my wedding.
Nope,
Olivia,
nope,
on
nope.
the other hand, she's 11, and you know, she's at that crucial age right now where she is watching mommy and what mommy does and how mommy meets
Right.
people and how mommy like, you know, she's at that where she's discovered boys, but she's not quite.
She hasn't admitted it
She's
yet.
got like the butterfly feelings, but doesn't know what the butterflies are yet. Like,
Yeah.
she's right at that breaking point, and there ain't no man talking to me. Like, there's been a couple talk to me, and she's like, oh, heck no. Like,
Right.
and I joke, I don't even know if I'm allowed to say this, so I'll say I have, like, learned, like, Olivia has this, like, we call it the resting bee face.
Oh, that's a thing.
Like, I'm telling you, I've learned more about my
It's
daughter.
an RBF. Everyone
Yeah.
knows what an
But
RBF
there's
is.
certain-
My husband has a great one.
There's certain things of her that I've, like, stepped back and been like, first off, that's rude. But second off, I am so thankful that you have that. Because my daughter's always been this innocent, sweet, loved everybody, Christian little girl.
Yeah.
But now, oh no, like, she's got this, like,
Well,
nobody's
someone hurt her
touching my
mommy.
household and nobody's touching my mommy, and I'm gonna protect her. And I can get, like, any man that comes in this door, like, if you can deal with her, like, she's gonna be the final say, because no, and I don't let her know she
Yeah.
has that much power, but, like,
She is right upstairs. She might hear
she's
you.
probably standing at the top of her step listening.
But
I should
but
take that back too. It
she
sounds
doesn't
like
have the final
nobody,
say,
nobody
but-
meets her. I have had a few people that I thought had potential to meet her meet in like group settings. Like,
That's important.
we run in. I invite them to church and I meet them in the lobby and we run in. Or there's like a picnic thing. Like, the Grace activities are the perfect spot,
Yeah.
right? Because Ava comes up and is like, "Hey, mommy, hi, mommy's friends," and she runs away and she doesn't know the difference. So, like, one guy I went out with a few times, I met with him at it was a Grace activity, and I realized how awkward he was with her, and
That's
what
important
ended
to
it
view.
because she didn't know who he was. She just, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Now, granted, him and I had been on several dates, and at that point in time, I was wanting to introduce the two of them together, but unsure. Like, I didn't have that. Yep, I'm for sure.
Yeah.
Feeling yet. So we met at a big group activity just because I wanted to see what that dynamic was, and I learned real quick how annoyed he was with her quirkiness, and You know what I mean? Like,
And that's
he would
really-
never get over it.
That's really smart because she wouldn't know him any different from your other friends that are there. But you get to see how the interaction happens.
Yep.
Yeah, and something
Really
else
smart.
that you have to look at, and I may be 100% wrong with this, and this I would not bring every man through, but you may really hit it off with that person, but then see them with your kids, and like my kids, like they're my world, like I am all they have, and they're all I have. That's forever. Like it's a guarantee you're mine. Like, and that's hard for me to say, but a mom that has just gone through a divorce, like I can look at them and go, you're mine, and there's nobody going to take you from me. Like, I want to make sure that person gets along with them, and I want to make sure they interact with them fine. So, I do agree that you shouldn't meet somebody and be like, hey, here are my kids, or like bring them on the first date. But I do think that in a group setting or, you know,
She's
like
clueless
they have
to it. But I think that's important because, I mean, if I'll be honest with you, that relationship that we talked about, the one relationship I've had in the past 8 years that was worth anything and slightly long term, I ended not because I didn't love him and not because I didn't want to be with him, but ultimately the things he was going through in his life was having a negative impact on my daughter.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And he needed to be whole in order to fit her in, and I could not fix him and take care of her.
Yeah.
That I needed
So
somebody who
wise.
was complete. So I left a man because that I thought I was going to be with forever, right?
Yeah.
Because he wasn't the right man to lose my daughter.
And that
was the hardest decision a mom could physically possibly make.
Yeah. That's
And since
So
then,
wise.
my screening process has upped this ante. So if
Yeah.
you're watching and you're thinking I might want to go through the application process, no, the interviews are very vigorous.
it's a long application process.
But
that
I think
is
that
important
like is
because
so important, and that speaks to your integrity. That it just speaks to so much. I think that's
Yeah.
just fantastic.
yeah, definitely.
My mom will tell me I'm too picky. So, Mom, if you hear that, they think
But
I'm
it's not
fantastic.
too
I'm not
picky.
too
It's
picky.
not that you're
Wait.
picky, but here's the
Yeah.
thing, like
Someone called Sarah the Ice Queen.
Oh yeah,
What?
That's great.
multiple times.
that's
Multiple times.
wonderful.
Yeah, I mean that was well known that I was the ice queen, and because so when I was in graduate school, I had I was in a program, and I had she was older, and she was coming back to do a second career, and she told me something that always stuck with me, and 'cause she had this friend who he always wanted to be more, but they didn't share the same faith. And she's like, Sarah, and sometimes I was like, you know, why aren't you with him? Like, you guys are like literally perfect for each other in every other way. And she would say, I would rather still have hope for a person than settle for someone who I know is
Yeah,
wrong.
and that's
Yep.
so
And so
important.
I think that, like, in so many ways, you know, that kind of reaffirmed my ice princessness. Because I knew that, first of all, I was worth that. And I think that
Yeah.
sometimes a lot of people, whether they're online dating or dating in a general sense these days, just don't understand their full worth. And I wasn't going to give anybody
Will you
my
make that choice quick? 'Cause you're
time.
lonely.
well, but you have to be like, I think, and this is like a whole different rant, but like I think one of the
We
most,
love Sarah's rants.
one of the most ridiculous lines in all of cinema is "You complete me." I think that is BS, because you need to be a full. I could go on for a long time, but like you have to be a.
Just so you know, Sarah is coming back for the week we talk about Disney princesses.
Please tune in.
It's gonna
Maybe
be
her
so
rant
good.
Is good now.
But one of the things is like, no, like you are a complete person. I happen to have a Christian faith, that I am complete in Christ, and that I am a complete and whole person. I do not necessarily need a significant other to do that. And I really had that in the fact that I needed to be in a good and healthy place where I have somebody that comes into my life that complements who I am, and is someone I want to be on this journey of life with. And like, if at the end of the day I have to choose between, well, they didn't have Netflix, but like
No Netflix and chill back.
no, but it's
I would
like if
rather
I
sit
had
at
a-
home on Netflix with
yeah.
a bottle of Cab, or one of the 5 men in my life who stay and have never turned me wrong: Jimmy, Jack, John, James, and my little Mexican friend Jose.
Sarah, what?
with a fire lit. My kid is sleeping a couple doors down.
Yeah.
Then
And
deal with your
any
crap.
of it. Yeah.
But
Just
like,
saying.
but you need to like. I think that is something that is sorely lacking in a culture that is based on likes, that is based on fake friendships, and that is based on
Left or right on a picture.
yeah. Like I think
Yeah.
that there is so much that we are basing on other people, and just that wholeness piece just really needs to be there. And so one of my big passions is just like female empowerment and the fact that like you are worthy of this. And so that to me allows people to be picky and allows people to have an extensive application process. And that doesn't mean that you have to be rude or nasty, but I'm not going to waste my time to be nice.
Well, and it's always been glamorized that men are allowed to be picky. You
Yeah.
like blondes or brunettes.
Yeah.
Do
You,
you,
That's
pick
a
the
whole
style.
different rant.
Boobs
Amy.
or
You
butts?
said-
Oh my.
I'm just saying.
This is true though. But then
It's all
when we're
true.
picky, it's the issue. Like we're
Note: female empowerment. Invite Sarah back.
yeah. That'll be a new show topic.
Female.
But I mean, so just kind of to tie this all together, like I do think that online dating can be a great thing.
Yes.
I do 100% agree with Sarah. Do not jump on there just to get a free dinner,
Yeah.
to get an eggplant picture, if that's your thing.
It's not just
Who?
eggplants.
Whose thing is that though?
I don't know what it's saying, but it must be some girl out there because they keep sending them. Why do you keep sending them? Please. Please.
You're missing the emojis that go along with it. You forgot the teardrops, the
Please.
water.
I just need
The
y'all to
If
know.
you are a woman who likes that, please, like,
No,
I just
not
need to
speak
that
know-
up,
one.
because
Not
I
that
don't
one.
think there is any of them. I don't
Our
know what he's
producer
drawing
just
back
drew a
there.
picture of an actual eggplant and shared it with
Oh my
us.
gosh.
Let
Not a
me
fake
hey,
eggplant.
Let me
but the real
educate
one.
you. Let me educate
Oh
you.
my. She's gonna show. So then, after my 11-year-old educated me on what an eggplant was, I had to Google it, and there was like all different kind of things. Like
Okay,
Oh,
past
anyway.
the eggplants.
See, this is important because.
But it is because now it's hidden. What? Why did my 11-year-old know
Hank
this?
says this is important.
For her.
This
Now
is
when
important for
see
you to
this
know.
Stuff online, and you see people commenting.
You're
and
having
you
a full-time
see the
patient.
eggplant now.
So,
But now you.
But
know
you
what's
have
going
boys,
on.
and they're
so
not
what
there yet,
Hank
but
is
they may get
saying, and
there.
you can't hear him because he's over there, and he's not a woman,
He's not a woman. He's not allowed over here.
is that now that I've been,
Educated.
I almost said woke to the eggplant.
Whoa.
but
She's been.
now I
woke
said
to
it.
eggplant.
That's a whole nother conversation.
You can write me down for that one too.
Woke, Sarah.
Woke eggplant. You've been woke to the eggplant.
Woke and female. Wait. But his point was that
You'll
but
see
being
it.
enlightened is important because you see it and you know that it's inappropriate. I wouldn't have known it was inappropriate.
You would have been like,
I
why
didn't
is
know.
my
I didn't know it was inappropriate the first time I got it either, and I remember I was clearly sitting at a campground, and I got the eggplant followed by 3 water drops, followed by the eyes popping out of the face, followed by the tongue. And I said,
Oh my
I don't
gosh.
understand what's going on, and I handed my phone to my friend, and she said the most graphic, dirty message that I physically
I
possibly
can't even
had
believe
heard
this is
But why?
from one of
okay.
my friends. And she's like, that's what he just said to you. And I'm like, wait a minute.
Wow.
There's pictures.
But here's the thing. Like, my 11-year-old knew this.
Yeah.
Well,
Like, guys, like
That's
you-
disturbing.
So
And
wait.
that's a whole nother conversation.
That's what I'm saying. Off of online dating.
I'm writing that down too.
We need to really, like, as a parent,
Kids
like,
and their learning.
I would like to say that my daughter is a good Christian little girl.
what's the tea?
She's not, she's not, subject to many people. She doesn't spend the night at people's house. Like, I am very protective of her. Why did she know what this meant? And it shows that it is really everywhere. And we should probably do a show on
I wrote it down.
what this stuff means. Because all of them have it. Like, all of them have a cell phone. All of them know. Like,
My 12-year-old daughter could teach us a lot of things.
we will have my
All the
11-year-old
things.
and Hank's 12-year-old daughter to teach this show.
Well,
Because-
Olivia already knows all about the angles.
Yeah, I mean, why does Olivia know about angles? I don't
Well,
know.
what's the tea? I never heard that.
What's
Yeah,
the tea?
what's
Anyway.
the tea? He was telling
What's
this.
the
It's
tea
basically
means
like
what's
gossip.
the gossip around school.
What's the big thing?
Well, here's the thing. I mean, like
Well, you work in schools. I can't
I
imagine.
do,
She knows a
but
lot about
yeah, and this is a whole different conversation that we can have about the different.
Should I write
apps.
it down?
This paper's getting filled up here.
Yeah, but I mean, and like I said, that's a whole different conversation. And like I work K to 6, And I definitely have kids like, hey, open up your Musical.ly app and show me what
She's
you're
getting
looking at.
dates over here, guys.
Oh, I want the update about how she's doing since we started.
You do not want the update.
Oh,
You don't want the.
You do not want the update. One of
Never
them's
gotten
cute.
an eggplant yet.
Well, I creeped one guy out because I was like, wow. He's like, how are you? I'm like, I'm great, thanks. How are you? He's like, good. He's like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm actually on a podcast right now about online dating.
He ghosted her.
He said, wait, what? And I was like, read above with the emoji pointing up, and then he deleted me.
Oh, he
Oh,
didn't
no.
want to be known.
Oh, wow.
So
Now
All
he
right.
is. Okay. So what
All
are
right.
we talking about next week?
So
Good job.
I think next week's already DIY pampering, am I right?
it is. So first, find your man or don't find your man on online dating. But next week will be, even if you're single, how you can take care of yourself.
ooh.
Single, married, needing mom juice, wanting to punch people
Whatever
in the face,
you need in life.
Don't
Hakuna
say names.
Moscato, and
Oh my
goodbye,
gosh.
Satan.
Did she get a pic?
No, it was an appropriate picture that she got. It's okay.
Anyway, so join us. We've got some guests tomorrow or next week. I'm like so distracted here. Next week,
She's on my dating.
taking care of just yourself and how important self-care is. And
Yeah.
because kind of going off with Sarah,
Yeah.
and this is something that I have really started to grasp, and I need to grasp a lot more, is just if you're not complete. Like, it is so, I hate to even say this out loud, kind of like that whole complete me, but you can't love someone else fully until you love yourself. I used to hear that before and be like, what?
It's so
Yeah.
true.
Of course I love myself. Like, no, like I didn't even know who I was. How could I be
Right.
the best to someone else who wasn't? So we're going to kind of talk about ways you can self-care and take care of yourself and your face. And, you know, we've got,
We'll actually have 3 different professionals here. One that's going to give us tips on how to take care of our face, one on our feet, and one on
yeah.
our hair, like fun
Our
things
hair.
to do with your hair.
And, yeah.
And so we might get a facial live here. I'll be a
Ooh,
little
I'll come back for
embarrassed.
that one.
You can come back and watch. Yeah.
Good. We will take a lot. We will put people in the audience if you want to come and be a part of it.
Yeah.
We would love to have you, but I'm excited for that show. We've got a couple other fun shows coming up that I'm excited about. So,
Bachelorette,
oh man, she is so
Disney
excited.
princesses.
So when you get we told you how much we love Marco Polo. I got like a Marco Polo 911. Was it yesterday?
Yeah.
That the Bachelorette has changed their start date.
You guys, I've been watching The Bachelor and Bachelorette for at least 5 years. At least. And all of those years, it starts on Memorial Day, which is the last Monday of May. I know this because I got married on May 31st, and it wasn't the last Monday
Because
of
she wanted
May.
to make sure she could see the Bachelorette.
But
before she
everyone
got
thought it was, no, everyone thought it was Memorial Day. And I'm like, no, it's not, because it's not the last Monday of May. Anyway, last Monday of May is always The Bachelorette. This year, May 13th. So now, I gotta go back to our show schedule. We gotta change this up, because we're gonna have a whole episode.
Guys, I'm like
The Bachelor
walking
and
into a
Bachelorette.
meeting, like an important business meeting, and she's flipping out on Marco Polo about the Bachelorette
I
starting
think they
early.
changed their date.
Like, how could they do that? But anyway,
And then I saw a post that they changed the date start for Bachelor in Paradise. That's a whole different conversation, and we'll have that one too. But that one, they changed it, and they literally, the post said, like, get fired up now. They changed the date. So I'm not the only one. That's all.
anyways, we look forward to you tuning
It's
in.
going to be good shows.
Thank you for joining us tonight. If you would like to share a story of your own, feel free to message us or comment. We'd love to hear from you. If you have any show topics, would like to sponsor one of our shows, reach out to us and we'll give you that information. Thanks for joining us, ladies.
And
sharing your
even though
story.
our glasses are empty,
Yeah.
a toast to a sip
Yeah.
of solidarity.
Hey, yours is still cool. Did you have a drink?
I did.
Night, guys.